Have you ever seen someone speak and listen in awe from their sheer precision and vivid imagery they cast onto your conscious? Have you ever wanted to be like them? What if I told you it was easier than you expect? What if I told you it was achievable in a week? And what if I told you anyone could be like this by simply changing my workhorse words? What are these words? They're vocabulary like good, nice, cringe, literally, sick, basically, etc. So the problem with these words is that they're too vague or vapid. And so what I'm trying to achieve in this week is I want to have a vocabulary that's more precise and exact and goes straight to the point. And this is a perfect example. Our speech is plagued by fluffy wording such as more. The meaning wouldn't change if this word was absent. So let's scratch it off. Next, focus your lens on these three aspects of the sentence: precise, exact, and straight to the point. Notice the same information is being portrayed in different packages. It's redundant, yet you don't perceive it as redundancy when speaking. We could replace these with distinct descriptive words such as vivid and rhythmic. This has evolved our primitive sentence into that's precise, vivid, and rhythmic. Do you sense the difference? The best way to encapsulate this manner of speaking is to begin by changing your workhorse words by using a tool called Common Book. I'm gonna write down all the workhorse words I mentioned previously and write down what other vocabulary or phrases I would like to use instead to add more spice to my... And now I'll do this pretty cool thing where I ask ChatGPT to give me better words to use. Let me show ya. I'll copy this prompt, link to the YouTube channel in the description, paste it, and we replace fun with one of the words, and bam! So instead of saying literally, I would say she tangibly sensed the vibrant energy of salsa dancing, every step pulsating with life. Amazing! Alright, so next I'm gonna do these for all of the remaining words. But what does that matter if I can't implement them into my way of speaking? And I have an idea. Okay, so after listening to the articulate prophet that is Joseph, I've come to several conclusions. It primarily starts with 3 steps. Number 1, I need to surround myself around content that uses complex and diverse articulation. This does not mean I will apprehend my divulging in Mr. Beast content. I will simply choose to diversify my YouTube palette of entertainment consumption. Step 2 is to emulsify myself in articulate books. An example of this would be the well-spoken thesaurus, which I will attempt to read for an hour a day. Using the strategy of atomic habits, I will try to give the allotted time for reading within the boundaries of the couch or the dining table as I'm eating. Step 3, at this point, it's a game of repetition and how often I expose myself to rich and dynamic language. Currently, I'm applying for scholarships, and if you don't know, they require a bountiful amount of essays, and I'm visualizing this as an opportunity to expand my diction. I believe that the explanation-driven questions provided by the scholarships would force me to evolve my speech and give me more time to generate impactful and precise words of which I can later use in my speech. As an example, this question states, what attributes do you possess that define you as a leader? Who have you tried to emulate in developing these qualities? Why are these attributes important? Responding to a rich, thought-provoking question like this inherently evolutionizes my eloquency as I dance through conversations by giving me an environment to thrive and immerse myself on improvement. Therefore, the abundance of similar questions should leave me with a greater affinity to intellectual articulation. I haven't finished the scholarships at all. Haven't completed the first prompt it requires me to answer. Seriously falling behind. Simply because of my inability to conjure cohesive and precise thoughts in a speedy way. Originally, 500-word essays would be elementary choreography for me. However, 500-word essay, while attempting to improve my articulacy, proves to be a complex task. In hopes of facilitating such arduous work, I've developed an addiction to reading the thesaurus. Much to my dismay, expanding my common word vocabulary has been incomprehensibly difficult. I need to accustom my brain to think in complex and flavorful manners faster, more efficiently. Alright, today is the final day. What have I assimilated? My previously unfiltered and convoluted thoughts have now become coherent structures that accurately portray my thoughts. I'm now self-conscious about every granular detail of my speech. I'd hope you'd seen the evolution of my diction from day 1 to day 7. Far from perfecting my ideal speech, as there's lengthy moments of pause between individual sentences. I'm teetering on the edge of sounding eccentric from my advanced vocabulary and correctly portraying my ideas. Improvement is still permanent. However, the foundational structure has been set. All that's left is to continually build upon the scaffolding laid from this week to ultimately create a vivid, imposing, complex artwork in the form of articulation. In the middle of the challenge, I became obsessed with bigger and more grandiose words, some of which the average human wouldn't understand. I've evolutionized my articulacy to provide exotic language yet understandable to my peers. My goal is not to impress through my complex vocabulary. My pinnacle goal is to add rhythm and stylize my vocabulary. It's not to impress, but rather to properly convey my message by collecting the right tools for specific situations in my bag of knowledge. Vocabulary like indubitably, for example, appears eccentric rather than professional and could better be portrayed by words like yes, precisely. If you're still pondering if I finished my scholarship, I didn't. Nonetheless, I'll read what I have so far. Prophesied by society, leadership is a virtue assigned from birth. Rivaling such unfounded assumptions, I've refined my tools to build the foundational steps, enabling me to rise onto the stage where my peers await a leader to emerge. See you next week for the final week in this 30-day challenge.
Now you're just a memory, how I wanted you to be mine.
They were all precisely chosen.
Really thought you felt the same, I guess it was a fine line.